And welcome to the Nasboys Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Bobcam 101, with my good friend and co-host Cam, aka Noticed_Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
So let's get down to talking about some sports. We're gonna kick it off with the NFL. Not really too much to talk about. Obviously, the draft coming up this Thursday. Not sure when this video will be posted, but the draft is upon us. So we will talk more about that in the episode after this one. For the news, we got Panthers linebacker Damian Wilson was arrested after an ex-girlfriend said he threatened to kill her. Wow, the arrests are already starting, folks.
Yeah, I mean, this is common with the NFL. I remember when we first started covering sports, the NFL had a lot of assault charges to gun charges to killing. I mean, really, there's a lot of people in that league that are just crazy. And now this is just an allegation, so we can't technically say if this is true or not. But that's pretty crazy. I mean, if you did really threaten to kill her, like, what are you doing, dude?
Right. And then we got Steelers claimed Miles Boykin off waivers, which is another wide receiver L for the Ravens. Not really too sure what to say about that, but it seems like a decent pickup for the Steelers.
I just want to know what the Ravens are planning. Like, what are they planning?
Right. So now let's talk about the NBA. This is where a lot of the sports world is getting covered right now. Obviously, NBA playoffs are still happening right now, and there was some stuff to talk about this weekend. First off, we got Devin Booker. He's out right now for the Suns with a 2 to 3 week hamstring injury. I'm not entirely sure what the injury is, but you can clearly tell how it's affecting the Suns. They are currently playing the 8th seed Pelicans, and the series is tied at 2 to 2. After Booker got hurt, they won those two games. And let me just tell you, the Pelicans arena is completely crazy right now. Like, fans were always up and cheering. They were chanting like Jose Alvarado's name. Which that guy is a freaking dog. He is an amazing defender. He's always there, ready to do the full court press or whatever, and he's always on his ball handler's face, and he's just all up in your face, and he's just a great defender. Another guy was Jones. I'm not entirely sure his first name because I haven't really heard of the guy before, but Jones, that's it. He on the Pelicans, he's a great player. The Suns can't really do that much, so we'll see what happens with Game 3. It is later tonight when we're recording this episode, so the score should be on the screen, or should have been on the screen. So we'll see what goes on with that series. Right now, I'm currently watching the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat game. Miami is up 58 to 51, and they are leading the series 3 to 1 after the Hawks won a thrilling Game 3 the other day. So, what do you got to say about these series so far, Cam?
To go off with the Suns and Pelicans. I mean, the Pelicans fans are absolutely insane. Their loyalty is crazy. That arena is loud, dude.
Right.
I mean, there's moments in that arena where you can hear almost the crowd more than you can the commentators. Very good series. I mean, it's interesting, but I mean, it sucks to kind of see the downfall of the Suns with Booker down. I mean, you can already see the effects clearly. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with them? Should be an interesting game tonight. And then with the Hawks and who'd you say again?
The Heat.
I have not been watching that game. Not gonna lie, the Heat and the Hawks I have not been watching. Or like the whole series really. So I really can't commentate on that one that much, but I've heard it's been a blowout.
Yeah, it pretty much has, except for Game 3. Like I said, the Hawks won, and it was a relatively close game. So the other series going on right now, we got the Celtics and the Nets. The Celtics unfortunately swept the Nets, and they won the game 4 by 4 points, which was embarrassing for the Nets. A lot of people are currently clowning on Ben Simmons right now, and I got to agree with this. Ben Simmons was claiming that he was going to be available for game 4, but unfortunately he did not play. And a lot of people were really upset, saying he was quitting on his team and he didn't want to do it because he knew that they were going to get swept. He claimed that he wasn't going to play game 4 because of back soreness, and he wasn't even at the arena. He didn't even go and support his team. Granted, he was there the whole series, but how are you going to do that when the team's in a do or die situation? Like, seriously, Ben Simmons is a freaking clown. I can't stand him. He's just looking for excuses at this point to not play. Is he even going to play next season? I don't know. And the Nets still might pick up his contract.
Yeah, at first, I wasn't really judging Ben Simmons with the whole Sixers situation. I got that clearly. But now, I mean, Ben Simmons is a full-on idiot, disgrace to the sport of basketball. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of other guys that should be in your position right now that would love to play and would love to put up the effort. And you're just wasting it. I mean, you're wasted talent, Ben.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to just be brutally honest. And, going into that series, I mean, those games were really fun to watch.
Yep.
Those were really fun games to watch. I remember me and Mike were talking, I think, on one of the podcast episodes, and I think there was one of the games going on, or we just got done talking about one of them.
Right. I think it was game 1. But yeah, another reason why a lot of people are a little skeptical with the Nets is that they're still planning on keeping Steve Nash, which I don't really know how I feel about, because the Nets last year under Nash, they made it to, I believe, the Eastern Finals. I can't remember exactly. I know they played the Bucks, so I'm pretty sure it was the Eastern Finals or the second round, one of the two. But this season, they just couldn't do anything. I mean, they had a down year in the final months of the season, and then they ended up going in the play-in game, and then they get swept in the first round. So I don't know why Nash is there. I'd give Nash maybe 1 or 2 more years and then consider firing him. I don't think he should be considered for a contract extension. I would just give him maybe like 1 or 2 more years, because the Nets have a team that can make it to at least the Eastern Conference Finals. On paper, that is.
I agree. I think unless Nash really has to start proving himself these next 2 seasons for him to get another contract, or it's game over. I mean, you have the players, you just don't have the team. And, I think a big problem that I think everybody kind of saw is, even as this team is, with how good they all are kind of selfish in their own ways, in my opinion. Some of the team connects and then some of the team doesn't. And that's where, as a coach, you have to figure out how to work it out. And, I don't know what Nash has been doing, but clearly whatever he's been trying has not been working.
Right. Oh, yeah, one thing I wanted to mention with the Suns and Pelicans thing was this Jackson Hayes ejection the other night when they were playing. I believe it was game 3. I'm not entirely sure what game it was. But basically, he had knocked over Jay Crowder with kind of like a football push. Here it is.
They're jawing at one another. So there's some action prior to what eventually leads to this.
Wow. Yeah, I tell you what.
I've seen that.
A lot of people were calling it a flop on Crowder's end, but I think that was definitely an ejection. Was Crowder acting? Maybe, but I think it was a good call by the ref to give him a flagrant 2 and eject him.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a great call. Most of these refs now are soft, in my opinion. You can't even pass the ball to them without them maybe trying to call you out on something. So that was definitely a good call, and I mean that was just plain up dirty. I mean, there was no need to push him.
Right. And then we got the Raptors and the 76ers. So the Raptors and the 76ers, their series right now is 3-2, I believe. If I can find it again. Yeah, 3-2 for the Sixers. Raptors blew them out last night, which was Monday, again, the night we're recording this episode, 103-88 in Game 5 right now. They will be doing Game 6 Wednesday, or no, not Wednesday, excuse me, Thursday, depending on when this video comes out. It might have already been finished. But the Raptors are making this series interesting. A lot of people thought the Sixers were going to close it out with Game 5, but they didn't. I don't know what the deal was exactly. I know Embiid is supposedly hurt and he has to go for surgery on his thumb at the end of the season. But he did hit a nice game winner in Game 4.
Green may angle something toward the rim. It gives to Embiid. He'll turn. Got off the shot and hit it. Oh my! There's gonna count the bucket. But review
to seal the deal for the Sixers in overtime. So that was pretty impressive. I think the Sixers are still going to win the series, but the Raptors are making it closer than I expected because I think I had the Sixers in 5.
Yeah, I think the Sixers will be in 5 too.
Next up.
Yeah, I seen that game win. That was really clean.
Right. Then we got the Jazz and the Mavericks. This is a really good series, I think. Mavericks are currently up 3-2 right now. I had Jazz in 6, so this will probably take an L for my prediction. But at least we'll get a Game 7. They killed them. The Mavericks killed them the other night, 102-77. Hopefully the Jazz can come back. I'm not a big Mavericks fan, so I would really like to see them come back. They are going to be playing Thursday night. So hopefully the Jazz win, but we'll see. It's been a pretty interesting series so far. The Mavericks have had the players that they need to step up, and that's what's really keeping them in it.
Yeah, well, Jazz lost. Correction. Yeah, I kind of watched a little bit of the game. It was more in the beginning, and tell you what, these two teams, they are it's something special out there. Very competitive.
Right. Then we got the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. Right now, they're on at halftime right now, 55-53 Timberwolves. Timberwolves, I was talking to one of my neighbors who watches basketball too, and he thought that the Grizzlies, or not the Grizzlies, the Timberwolves were going to be an underdog. And I was like, man, you're crazy to think that. But no, he seems to be right now. The Timberwolves are a very competitive team. I did not expect that at all. But the Grizzlies are making it competitive. I definitely got to see this series much more than I have been paying attention to. Mostly I've been paying attention to the Boston and Brooklyn series and the Jazz and the Mavericks, but I really got to watch around the league right now. This is some crazy playoffs right now.
The Timberwolves have shocked me for sure.
Right. And then another series, we got 2 more left. We got the Bulls and the Bucks. Cam, I know you're a Bucks fan. They're up 3-1 right now over the Bulls. This was honestly shocking to me because I thought that the Bulls would make it a 7-game series. But no, they have not looked like themselves. They've been going down in big deficits. And even without Chris Middleton, the Bucks are still kicking. They're doing a great job right now and really showing why they could make a case to go to the finals.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know, the Bucks, they've had like this up and down roller coaster where like at times they'll give me a heart attack and at other times they won't. It's been scary. This season's definitely not as comfortable as it was last season. As last season, I was like, oh, we're rolling by. And we're kind of passing through a little bit. It got rough near the end, but I mean, it's been rough since the beginning of the playoffs for the Bucks, and it's just kind of been like scary. It's like every step you walk, you feel like you're almost about to touch a landmine.
And then finally, we got the Nuggets and the Warriors. Warriors are up 3-1 right now. Nuggets just won on Sunday. I mean, this series has been going pretty much how I expected. I had the Warriors in 6, so maybe that could still happen, but we'll see. I don't really care if it does or not because I feel like the Warriors will still get past.
Agreed.
All right. So that's pretty much going to conclude the basketball. Let's get started with the MLB now.
So now I'm just going to talk about some controversial things to start off. Well, just one controversial thing, which is this is before Miguel Cabrera had his 3,000th hit. The Yankees intentionally walked him, and I just.
What's going to happen, don't you?
Yeah. They're going to walk Miggy?
Yep, we got.
With Meadows on deck, left-handed?
Yep.
Left-handed hitter? Sure. But we could see
as if the Yankees already weren't the evil umpire.
I think the Yankees have anybody warm.
I think that's a crappy thing to do. Not only was he at home, but you're going to intentionally walk him. I mean, this guy's he is a legend, and he will be a Hall of Fame inductee. And so I just feel like it's super disrespectful just to not let him get that hit. It just shows how ignorant and selfish Yankees are for you.
Yeah, I agree. That was definitely a crappy thing to do, but I mean, I don't really know what to say about it. Another thing with the Yankees is their fans were throwing trash at one of the Cleveland Guardians. Excuse me, I gotta learn how to say that. Cleveland Guardians outfielders.
So Straw had some beef with the fans. Climbed up to have a word. Mercado said, okay, calm down. So it looks like Quan is going to stay in. Francona talking with the ump.
This is the last thing that you want to do as an outfielder, honestly. Like getting to the fans' face. They will not forget that you did that. And every time you come to New York, they will really get on you.
Which that's kind of a crappy thing to do, but the guy, I think his name was like Miles Straw or something like that. I can't remember the guy's name exactly. I know it's Miles, but he climbed on the wall, which he probably shouldn't have climbed on the wall to go yell at the fans, but they shouldn't have thrown trash. So I feel like the Yankees fans are more in the wrong, but they're both in somewhat wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about this situation, but we might as well talk about it now. That was definitely one of those things where, that situation. I mean, I have no clue what they could have been saying about the guy. I mean, you never know. I guess you're not really there to understand what they could have been saying. But I guess it had to be pretty bad for him to jump up on the fence like that just to say something to your face. But to throw trash on the field just made the Yankees look 10 times worse. And Aaron Judge came out there. He was trying to calm them down. A couple of other Yankees players were trying to Stanton was trying to calm them down as well, letting them know that's not okay because they already know that it's going to get a lot of publicity. And plus, I mean, it's not like the Cleveland Guardians are going to be picking that up. It's gonna be the Yankees workers cleaning that up, So just a dirty act, in my opinion. But overall, I think both were in the wrong.
Right, I agree with you.
In other news, there was a minor league fight. The AA affiliates for the Mets, the Rumble Ponies, that's a weird name, and the Red Sox Sea Dogs got into a heated bench clearing fight, which actually left a player injured, like laying down on the ground. And this is pretty brutal. I don't know if Mike's able to show this, but if he is, hopefully, I mean, he might be able to, he might be able not.
Inside, and that hits Reed on the hands. And now we have a fight in front of the mound. Dugouts are clearing. Punches are being thrown. And it is an all-out brawl to the right of the mound. And here come the dugouts.
Tough fight, though. I mean, if you guys can't see it, I'll give you a run through. He basically had a swing, and they were walking home, and then we're not walking home. He was walking to first, and like I guess they might have had a little bit of altercation. Maybe he thought it was a little disrespectful how the player was walking or whatever, and it just turned into an all-out brawl. I mean, like it's like he went up to the pitcher, just started throwing fists. They both did, and then everybody scrambled for their life. Um, yeah, pretty brutal.
Yeah, Cam, I did see this fight. It was pretty interesting. It was much more than a normal baseball fight, and there were actual punches thrown. So that was very interesting to see. Also, the names were really, really stupid of those teams.
Yeah, a lot of minor league teams have that just horrendous names, in my opinion. I'm trying to think. There's another one that I thought was like super stupid, and I just cannot think of it right now for the life of me. Oh God, I can't think of it. It's whatever. Anyways, to go on to what we're talking about, there's been a lot of arguments with umpires, and you know, umpires have been a little antsy. You know, Angel Hernandez, he sucks. He's an umpire, worst umpire in the MLB ever. I will argue that until I die. He sucks. But this is between a different umpire, Phil Cousy, and I just like to say this is very disrespectful. He told Jazz Chisholm Jr. to hurry up when he was getting ready.
This was Phil Cousy before. Watch him get the box. Yeah, get the box. He said, let's go. And look at Yanni. Yanni's like, you got the sign. Let's go. Let's come on. Yeah. Come on. Come on.
And I feel like you should just wait your time and just let the player process out of it. I mean, he was there for like maybe 15 seconds, but I mean, I feel like there's like a 30-second rule in my opinion. I feel like you shouldn't have to just tell them to hurry up right away. I mean, sometimes they got to get themselves concentrated. And right after that, though, he did hit a bomb. Like right after he told him to come on, hurry it up, he did just completely break one. Man.
Now he hangs one. There's that old, I know Nelly loves to call that cement mixer. You can see it spinning up there with what transpired at the plate there to lose it. This was him coming home.
I mean, he just bombed it. So, nice to see. But like I said, me and umpires do not get along in a lot of ways. I just think a lot of their calls are stupid. They're more soft than basketball referees at times, In other news, the Baltimore Oilers ace left-handed pitcher John Means will reportedly undergo Tommy John surgery after announcing the news via Twitter. That sucks. If you didn't know, if you don't really know baseball, I mean, if you have Tommy John surgery, I mean, your chances of your career being over is like 90%. I mean, it's really high. So that's really sad to see, especially for John Means. I mean, he's a good pitcher. I feel like a lot of people in baseball know who he is. I mean, you don't even have to really be a huge baseball fan. I feel like his name's definitely solidified in certain ways. So to hear about that sucks. Really, hope he can make it out, but it really does suck.
That does suck.
Yeah. You see this happen a lot. I mean, even some really, really good, like arm blocks, especially those the same thing. I mean, it basically your career is over. It was like one of them things where like it sucks to happen because it happens a lot more common than it probably should in baseball, and it's really sad. Also to break the news, Miguel Cabrera did hit his 3,000 hit mark, which was really cool to see. Everybody even stood up for him every time he hit up the base. That's always nice to see. So good for him.
That's great for him. Congratulations.
Yep. Also, just like to say, the Cubs beat the Pirates 21-0 like 2 days ago. Absolutely ruthless. That was a beatdown, which as Reds fans, Pirates deserve it. I hate the Pirates. You guys can go burn. Just my opinion. So seeing that happen was glorious. But our day will come with the Cubs. We suck well. We have the worst record in the baseball league right now. I think we're 3-12. or 2-12, one of the two. Pain, just pain, man, just pain. White Sox outfielder Eloy Jimenez had to be carted off the field versus Minnesota today after falling uncomfortably on the base path, which, if you look at it, I mean, it's a little rough, but not really. I mean, it just looks like once he got off the base, it just looks like he really landed uncomfortably, which, sadly kind of reminds me of like an ACL tear, which would suck to see. And then free agent, which we talked about this earlier in the year, or before the season happened. Free agent outfielder Michael Conforto reportedly underwent successful shoulder surgery last week. He will miss the entirety of the 2022 season, but he'll be expected and make a full recovery and be ready for MLB action 2023. Also, I know we usually don't do like a lot of, I don't think we did a fun fact for today, but I have a fun fact that I made sure was real. Ichiro Suzuki learned Spanish just for the purpose of trash talking his opponents. I forgot to put that earlier.
That is a very interesting fact.
Yeah, people always say that like Ichiro was very nice, but he was a huge trash talker. If you didn't know this, he definitely was a trash talker. The San Diego Padres have placed first baseman Luke Voit on the 10-day injured list with biceps tendon injury. That's all they said. I don't really know if it was like pull, stretch, whatever. That's rough. I hope he gets better. I mean, it just sucks in general. A lot of injuries in baseball this week. I've noticed this. And then the Oakland A's put outfielder Raymond, I'm going to murder this guy's last name, Laureano, I think it's how you say it. He began a rehab assignment yesterday in AAA. He will look to finish his 80-game suspension that was handed out last year, which will likely last until May 8th. He was using enhancement things, so I really don't know what to be exact, but I'm guessing maybe steroids, but so they have him back out there playing. It might have been drugs. I can't remember what it was. The New York Yankees and former outfielder Jacoby Ellsbury reportedly resolved a contract grievance that was originally filed back in 2019 with a monetary settlement. Which this was back in 2019, and I remember it was like over $26 million. So this was huge. I mean, it was a big problem, but they seemed to get it up, which was good for them. As superstar right-handed pitcher Jacob deGrom went for a follow-up MRI on his injured shoulder yesterday, and according to the team, deGrom has shown considerable healing of the stress reaction on his scapula. Doctors have reportedly cleared deGrom to start loading and strengthening his shoulder, but will not begin throwing and will likely be sent for further imaging in 3 weeks. It's looking rough for deGrom, man. It's looking rough for him right now. Like I said, a lot of injuries. And I've noticed in the MLB when there's one injury that's pretty big, that little bug just goes to a lot of teams and affects a lot of players. Carlos Carrera is reportedly open to staying with Minnesota Twins long term. He's already had a couple of opt-outs in his recent contract with the Twins. So to hear this is like he must be desperate. Maybe he thinks that no other team's going to pick him up. Really, he almost was going to become a free agent and have no team pick him up. So maybe he just realizes that he's going to stay with the team he has. I don't really know. That's crazy to think, though. Any opinion on it, Mike?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely crazy. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I didn't think a lot of teams would want him besides, him being a part of the cheat shows. He says he likes being treated where he's at Minnesota, and he likes the fans. So, I don't know. It's not that bad of an idea to stay at Minnesota. They seem like an up-and-coming team.
Yeah. So, this is huge news. Okay, we're going to talk about this. Now, Mike, you're probably hearing this for the first time, so get ready to say your opinion on this one. The infamously sealed letter that was set to expose the Yankees' wrongdoing of illegally stealing signs is a, quotation marks, nothing burger via ESPN's Jeff Hassan. The letter indicates the Yankees used their replay room to decode catcher signs and relay to them runners on second base back in 2015 and 16, which multiple teams were doing at the time. What the letter does not find is that they were illicitly, I don't know, using a CF center field camera, which, I mean, that's a whole situation in itself. Jeff Passan also added that the Yankees and Red Sox were illegally using the replay room to steal signs, but neither scheme was anything close to what the Astros were doing with the banging on trash cans, and the other teams were very likely doing something similar to New York and Boston. Part of me feels like for this big whole thing that was conspiring, I didn't really want to bring it up on the podcast because I wanted to get the full story before I even talked about it. And now we're kind of getting it. I feel like they kind of overhyped this a little bit.
Right.
I feel like a lot of teams do this. I mean, and that's just my opinion, kind of. I feel like they definitely have, a lot of teams probably use this. I mean, I feel like they probably have a cheat sheet card of what every pitcher in that league has and what they throw by the first time after playing them. I feel like it's not really that bad. And then, the center field camera, that's definitely a little suspicious. I feel like that could be a problem in itself. But I really don't know if that's that I don't think that's the level of what the Astros were doing, and I feel like it's going to take a lot to see. And this is just an update from 3 hours ago. It's just the details of what was inside the sealed commission's letter that was rumored to indict the New York Yankees of sign stealing on the same scale as the 2017 Astros have been released, and it's not what it was expected, right? Basically, everything that they were saying, it's basically what most teams already knew and do at the time. So, yeah, I mean, I don't see too much of a problem with it. I mean, the center field camera, that's bad, but the looking in the replay room, I feel like a lot of teams do that, especially in other sports. Obviously, in football, basketball, they ask their players to go to the film room so they can watch how the other team plays. I feel like that's the exact same in baseball, and I don't see a problem with that, but they do need to look into that center field camera. Yeah, agreed. And I did hear about this earlier today, but I did not get a chance to read an article about it or a full in-depth explanation. Yeah, and that's all for baseball. All right, so now let's get down to talking about the top 10 plays of the week. Coming in at number 10 is this big Wander Franco throw to first.
Play hit, one hop, knocked down, recovered by Franco, throw, he got it! Oh my! What? And number 9, Jonathan Kuminga slam.
Gordon couldn't corral that pass. They got a 2-on-1, Kuminga driving, elevating, detonating, Jonathan Kuminga. It's not the elevation responsible for this bounce.
In at number 8, Stephen Curry, high layup off his left.
Curry draws the double off the glass, counted.
And at number 7, Giannis spinning through the defense.
The last 2 games. The spin, Giannis under control, gets to the rim and lays it home.
And at number 6, this Yankees walk-off single, which caused the Yankees fans to throw the trash at Miles Straw.
1-2. Line drive into right center field. That's going to do it. The Yankees win a walk-off pinch hit RBI single. Gleyber Torres comes off the bench and becomes a hero. And the Yankees win.
And number 5, the Jason Tatum dagger.
Dragic on Tatum. He'll pull it for 3. And it is good.
In at number 4, insane throw from right field to third. This is crazy. This guy should look into playing some football if he doesn't want to play baseball anymore.
Oh, he stayed with the fastball, and Mayfield sends it into right field. That'll be a base hit. That'll send Duffy over to third. Mayfield to second, and he's out at second base. An absolute laser beam from Kyle Tucker to Jeremy Pena for out number 1.
Trae Young floater to win game, winning 3.
Timeout, will they use it? No. Here's Young on the drive. Floater up and good. Atlanta takes a 1-point lead.
That was a great one.
In at number 2, we got Nestor Cortez diving play to get the out.
Grounded to Rizzo. Can be a tough play. Got him. The diving Cortez beat Quan to the bag.
And at number 1, Miguel Cabrera's 3,000th hit, baby.
Right side, there it is. His 3,000th, the third Tiger to ever do it.
Also would like to say an honorable mention would be just today at the Reds game, a dad had a baby in his hands and called the ball barehanded. And you see these moments. Yeah, I'll just send that to Mike so you can see that. Pretty crazy.
That's sick. But yeah, with that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. We will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
You only calling night, you wanted what I think. All these women lie, push me to the brink.